Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our welcoming and onboarding webinar for Open for Anti-Racism. This is Una Daly from the Community College Consortium for OER, and we are just thrilled to have you here. And of course, I'm here with the whole project team who will introduce themselves in just a moment. So our agenda for today, we're going to let everyone introduce themselves here in a minute. We're going to start with the project team, and then we're going to invite all of you out there to our first OFAR cohort to introduce yourself and briefly, because we do need to get to the program overview, the course overview. And then we want to hear from you about what your ideas are for your action plans. And at this point, we also want to thank the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation for their generosity in supporting the OFAR program and for being very supportive of anti-racist teaching and learning. All right. This slide just captures the diversity of disciplines of our inaugural OFAR cohort. So you can see it ranges from career technical ed through our basics, math, English, chemistry, biology, sociology, business, etc. So really a wonderful group. And at this point, at this point, I want to turn it over to James Glappa-Grossklag, my co-PI on the program, which I think many of you know. And James is going to talk a little bit about what brought us all here.
Thanks, Una. Hi, everybody. James Glappa-Grossklag with College of the Canyons, where I'm a dean. I get to work with all kinds of great programs at College of the Canyons, and also I've long been involved in open educational resources. And I'm just going to turn off my video for 2 seconds. I'm getting a little suspicion that my internet is lagging here at home, so I apologize for that. Well, maybe before I get into sort of what brought us here, maybe the rest of the team could introduce themselves. Una, you want to say 2 words about you and yourself? And
sure, I'm happy to do that. Yeah. So I wanted to mention to our cohort here who may not be familiar with our organization. The Open Education Global is our parent organization, but CCCOER is the division that works with community colleges around the country. But in fact, we were founded right here in Northern California, and we're a community of practice for open education. We were founded in 2007. So we've been working for over 10 years with colleges on expanding the adoption of high quality OER, basically to improve student equity and success. But we do that through a number of efforts, which I'll share with you at another time. And then I want to move right along and introduce our project team here, and then you'll also get to meet our advisory coaches. So Liz is our manager of communities of practice at Open Education Global, and I think you've all had an opportunity to meet Liz over email, and she's been working with you on your contracts. And next up is Kim Crew. She's an instructional designer at Northern Virginia Community College, but in fact is located right here in Weed. And Kim, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. I just would like to say I'm really happy to be here. I look forward to meeting everyone and working with you. I'm a lifelong educator. I've taught middle school and high school, but I've been in community college for about 20 years. I was in online learning before, while it was WebCT and earlier. So I've been around for a while. I absolutely love the idea of open and how it merges and dovetails so nicely with community college mission. And my dissertation was on open educational resources and their impact on student learning. Completed that just a couple of years ago. And I'm just delighted to get the opportunity to work with California colleagues on this project.
All right, thank you, Kim. And Kim is one of our course developers and facilitators. So you'll be working with Kim quite a bit over the next few months. And our other course developer and facilitator is Joy Shoemate, the interim director of online education at College of the Canyons. Joy, would you like to say a few words?
Sure, yes. Just to echo Kim's sentiments, I'm really excited to be meeting you all, and I'm really looking forward to working with you all over the next few months, but especially as we work through the course together. I'm just so thrilled to be here. I love discussing and exploring how to improve teaching and learning in online education, but also utilizing and leveraging OER to best support students. We'll be sharing some more information, but I get to work closely with a team at College of the Canyons that support instructors in their development of OER. So I get to work closely in that process, seeing kind of the wheels spin, and it's really quite rewarding to see the end result, which on our campus often are textbooks that then become adopted on other campuses across the country. And we've also had some other countries adopt our texts as well. So I'm just really excited to be working with you all and learning from you all. It will be a really enjoyable and collaborative process.
Thank you, Joy. And Liz, I'm sorry, I didn't give you a chance to say anything. Would you like to share a few words?
Sure. So just to let you know, I work remotely. I'm in Thousand Oaks, California, just in case you're wondering. And yeah, just really excited to be working on this project. I'll be handling, the invoicing and contracts and that sort of thing. So looking forward to learning along with everybody else in the program. Great.
Thank you so much. And next up, I want to introduce our advisory coaches. So these are our expert reviewers. They're not only reviewing, they reviewed applications, they are reviewing our OFAR course along with our course developers. And they're also going to be providing some peer coaching to you in the springtime. And so we're just so excited to have them with us today as well. And I'm going to start on the left-hand side here with Maritez Apigo, who's the distance ed coordinator and also an English faculty at Contra Costa College.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm also the OER coordinator at Contra Costa, so many hats. Yeah, I had to jump in a little bit late, but I just want to congratulate the lucky 18 who have been chosen. It was, there were many applicants, what, 300 or some, Una?
Yes.
So congratulations on being selected for this wonderful project that I'm really excited to be a part of.
Thank you, Maritez. And next up is Dr. Alyssa Cooper, who's professor of English at Glendale Community College, has a long history in OER.
Yes, welcome everyone, and again, congratulations. And yeah, I do have a history of OER, and as soon as I escaped all of it, here comes Una calling, so I'm back. But I'm looking forward to working with you all. I think this is a great project, and I was really excited to be back when she asked me. So again, welcome everyone, and congratulations.
Thank you, Alyssa. And Alyssa is the co-author also of the anti-racist pedagogy discussion. I always reverse those guide that was published this summer, and it's really an excellent resource. It's in your course, and she'll be talking to us about at one of our upcoming webinars. She will be sharing more about that resource. All right, next up is Aloha Sargent. She's the Technology Services Librarian at Cabrillo College and has worked with us on quite a few OER projects now as well.
Hi, everybody. I recognize quite a few names from various places, either from Cabrillo or from @ONE. I'm a librarian mostly, but I also facilitate courses for @ONE, so I think I've seen a few of you there. And yeah, I'm really excited to be working with you all on this project.
Great, thank you, Aloha. And next is Dr. Micah Young. He's the Dean of Health Sciences at Pasadena City College.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be part of this team. I think we're looking forward to the work. I think the work is more critically evidently needed now more than ever. And I'm happy to be able to support you in your efforts in this project, especially as it comes to areas pertaining to STEM and health.
Great. Well, we're very pleased to have all of you providing your expertise to us as we run this program for the very first time. All right. So, James, do you want to talk about
Yes.
what brought us here first? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. So, you know, I suppose if you're listening to the introduction of a lot of folks here, you're hearing a consistent refrain of open educational resources and OER. And in fact, that's not really the point of this project, is it? The point of this project, we hope, is for you all to make your teaching more anti-racist, right? And I think, though, that the common background of many of us in open education kind of points to or calls up the evolution of at least my thinking. I think I can speak for Una as well. Over the years, College of the Canyons and CCC OER have had the pleasure of collaborating on many projects around open education. And we've told ourselves, and I think many people in the OER world have taken great pleasure in telling themselves that we're advancing equity, that by reducing textbook costs or removing the barrier of textbook costs, somehow we're doing great good in the world. And I think that's certainly true to some extent. And last summer, when Una and I were in discussions with the Hewlett Foundation, you know, this country was facing a lot of public discussion and public hand wringing around people once again discovering that racism exists in the United States of America. How shocking! And so I think many of us in the open education world were confronted with the recognition that replacing a commercial textbook that ignores our history and that reinforces racist structures with a free textbook that ignores our racist history and reinforces racist structures doesn't really get to the change that we want in society and in our teaching and in our institutions of higher education. And so that was really the impetus behind further discussions with the Hewlett Foundation between Una and myself, and really the genesis of this project. We thought, gosh, there's so much promise for academic freedom and faculty creativity by leveraging open education. What would happen if we found a way to work with faculty to do that specifically directed towards anti-racism and to respond in a real concrete way, not only to what this country was witnessing once again last summer, but also, and I'll say this is my personal opinion, I'm not going to put these words in Una's mouth, also as a reaction to, I think, what we see all of our institutions having done last summer and this fall, and that is slapping up a nice statement on our websites or putting a letter out to the campus community that is a million miles away from your classrooms and a million miles away from what your students are experiencing and the struggles that you're going through as faculty. So we want to empower you, really. That's I think the short of it. So with that, let's hear from all of you very briefly. Again, we've got a lot of people here. So if we can go down the list, I might call on people just to keep us moving.
I think
if you could just say hi, maybe turn your camera on and say hi, where you're from, and then time permitting, we'll come back at the end and hear some ideas that you have around anti-racist work in your classes. So let's start with Anna Garcia.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me. It's an honor to be with you. I actually have heard a couple of you through the flex days that we have here at Monterey Peninsula College. It was very inspiring. It's one of those things that I always hear and see you need to work on and you never have the time. So this is my time. So thank you for helping me, helping my students. Looking forward to this.
Great, thank you, Anna. And Jill Bradshaw?
Hi, I'm Jill Bradshaw. I'm a social work professor at Folsom Lake College. And our college is also bringing education into the prison. So that's kind of the focus of what I want to do with this project.
Awesome. And also next on my list is a friend, not a participant in the program, but a good friend, Anita Crawley. You want to say hi, Anita?
Hi, I'm in love with James and Una and what they in this project. And when I saw the announcement, I said, I have to do something to help. And so I had an idea and we made it happen. And I can't be happier to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you, Anita. And Anita's with Monterey Peninsula College. Thank you, Anita, for your support. My friend Cindy Stevens.
Hi, I'm Cindy Stevens. I teach at College of the Canyons. I'm the early childhood faculty that was mentioned on that slide. And I am so grateful to be a part of this. When I first saw it, I glomped on it right away. I think I might have been one of the first applicants because I was just so excited. Our department, as James knows, wrote OER text for our early childhood program. And I'm so excited to be able to infuse the rich history of early childhood because we too have what James had said, just reintegrated the stuff from our current textbooks. And so I'm really excited. I'm working with a group from the University of South Carolina, an anti-racist collective, and I'm so excited to be able to infuse that material into our texts. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thanks, Cindy. Monica Galvin.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here. I work at Hartnell College. I'm a counselor and I teach psychology also. And I just look forward to collaborate and learn and do everything I can to help.
Thank you. Deborah Crumpton. Deborah?
Thank you. Yes, I had to unmute myself. I'm so thrilled to be here. I teach at Sacramento City College. I teach in business. And I just, I thought about this opportunity for a while and was so happy to have an opportunity to do something that really speaks to anti-racism and doesn't have the word equity in it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. And Hasna Sadat Ahadi.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Hasna Sadat Ahadi. I'm an assistant professor in counseling. I lead the anti-racism, decolonized pedagogy and praxis at Palomar College. I'm elated to be here and learn from all of you as we move forward with anti-racism teaching and learning. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a feeling we'll be learning from you as well. Jackie Williams.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'm Jackie Williams. I'm from Fresno City College. I'm English faculty, and I am also the instructional coordinator for our Title V grant and our first year experience program. And I'm here because we are trying to embed OER into all of our first year experience courses, and making sure that it's anti-racist OER is something that's very important to me.
Great. And Joshua Cardenas.
Hey everybody, my name is Joshua Frank Cardenas. I'm an academic coordinator and instructor at California Indian Nations College, and then also adjunct at Palomar College in American Indian Studies and College of the Desert in History. I just really look forward to working with a group of dedicated educators, a cohort, where we can really bounce ideas, get feedback, provide that critique that's needed and that's biting, that's going to get at the heart of the matter. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And Lars, boy, Lars, I'm not going to try your last name. Lars, are you there?
You'll need to unmute yourself, Lars.
Double clicked the mute button, and so I re-muted myself. So hi, I'm Lars Cheseth. I'm at El Camino College. My last name, the KJ, shouldn't scare anyone. It's just the way Norwegians spell the CH sound, the ch sound. It's that simple. And I have been working the last 2 years to reshape my statistics class around the theme of myth and measurement, African Americans and the US government. And having recently read Bell Hooks about you can have great content in a course, but unless you change sort of the way the pedagogy works, and with all the anti-racist readings that I've been doing, this is a great opportunity for me to address a number of things with a bunch of fantastic people that I'm just meeting right now. So thank you.
Great, thank you. And Mark Malonzo?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Mark Malonzo. I'm with El Camino College, where I teach EMTs. I've been in emergency medical service education for the last 20 years, teaching both EMTs and paramedics. And I'm really looking forward to this opportunity.
Thank you. And Megan D'Angelo?
Hi, folks. Yes, I'm Megan D'Angelo, and I am an instructor at Citrus College in Glendora, California. And appropriately, I am actually under a citrus tree at this moment. And as I said, I work in continuing education, primarily an instructor of English language courses and computer skills, and a blend of those two. And so, like many that I've been hearing them, been, attempting to turn my courses more into with more of the intentional anti-racist aspect to it, because of the English is inherently, just the fact that teaching English and primarily to folks who, this a lot of our students, this was their ancestors' land first. And so there's a lot that comes up. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to work in a more supported and wide scope focus. Wide scope in that it's working with all of y'all too. It's it can feel a little lone wolfish, at times with the work. So it's exciting, and I'm really grateful again for the opportunity. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And Nakia Cheney?
Hi, I am Nakia Cheney. I'm an English instructor at Cabrillo College. I also work with the Guided Pathways team. I've been trying to get like Black Lives Matter into the classroom. I've really been wanting to kind of use that as a historical framework of like what's happening now and how it's related to some of the movements that have gone on, anti-racist movements that have gone on in the past. And I'm just really excited to meet you guys and to work with you. And I'm just looking forward to doing this.
Thank you. Oliver Rosales?
Hi, I'm Oliver Rosales. I'm a professor of history at Bakersfield College. A lot of my work focuses on rural communities and working with students from agricultural labor backgrounds and building community archives. So that's sort of what both my research and teaching interests are, and what I'm hoping to leverage this fellowship.
Great. And Ruth Kalkanis?
Hi everyone, I'm Ruth. I'm really excited to be here. I teach both sociology and ethnic studies, but I applied for this program under my work as a sociology instructor at Mount San Antonio College. I started to work on creating an OER textbook for our race and ethnicity course. So it aligned perfectly when I saw the opportunity to apply for this program. So I'm really excited to be here and learn from you all.
Thank you. And Sharon Sampson?
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon Sampson. I'm a faculty in Administration of Justice at Grossmont College in San Diego County. I'm really honored to be amongst all of you, and I'm looking forward to future collaboration. Thank you.
And Suzanne Ivanitsky?
I'm Susanna Wanakee from Pasadena City College. I teach environmental science and general biology. And I'm hoping to think about ways to incorporate conversations about structural racism into the biology classroom in a way that really encourages co-ownership of the content.
Great. And Tara Bunag.
I teach chemistry at Modesto Junior College, so introductory chemistry, so pre-nursing, and then chemistry for the general chemistry that everybody can take. Kind of affectionately call it chemistry for poets. But I've been working with OER for a very long time. I was an instructional designer before I came back into the classroom to teach chemistry. So this is something I've been working with for quite a while. As far as open is concerned, I've mostly worked around open educational resources toward improving accessibility. So creating materials for individuals who were blind in statistics, for example, and other accessibility challenges. And I wanted to kind of expand into this area of looking at making these materials anti-racist, particularly because I teach chemistry, which is very racially imbalanced.
Great. Thank you, Tara. And have I missed anybody? It's very possible scrolling through that I missed somebody.
Yes, I think you missed Robert Brown. And have we, and I don't think we've heard from, have we heard from Sharon and Suzanne? So
yes, I had an opportunity. Thanks. No,
okay.
Thanks.
Okay, Robert.
Hi, my name is Robert Brown. I am an English faculty member at San Bernardino Valley College. I teach the composition courses, creative writing, and African American Lit. I'm extremely excited to be here. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Great. Thank you so much. And was there anybody else that I missed? Speak up or forever hold your peace.
Sorry, Zoom does not make this easy. They change the list around when you're looking at it.
So. Exactly. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Really excited. Really excited that everybody's here.
So what a stellar group, and just from all around the state and representing so many different disciplines. So we are just really thrilled.
Yeah, and as Merit has mentioned, I think as we mentioned in our written communication to you, we had well over 300 applications. Boy, that is it's difficult to make the selections, but boy, is it invigorating and inspiring to know that so many people want to do this work.
Absolutely. Well, we are now going to jump to our program overview. And some of this you'll be familiar with, and please feel free to pop questions into the chat window, and we'll definitely have time for Q&A. But we wanted to take you through this because sometimes it's good to see it and hear it. So I'll go ahead and start. We'll talk about the first couple months here. So you are here today, December 16th, for our welcome and onboarding. And I mentioned that there will be an optional reading list for the holidays, and we'll get that out to you if we don't share that with you today. And then we hope you enjoy your holidays, and then come back and join us January 4th. So bright and early in January for the 4-week Open for Anti-Racism course, which it begins. And what we will ask you to do before you start the course, but when you log in, the first thing you'll be asked to do is to take a pre-survey. And why we're doing this is we want to be able to show impact of awareness by faculty after they have taken the course. So this pre-survey allows us to kind of set a boundary. We're working with the RP group, and so they're helping us put together a survey for you. It'll be a short one. Asking about how you've been working in your classroom and what you're hoping to learn in this course. And then equivalently, there'll be a post survey at the end of spring. There'll be weekly assignments and readings and so forth, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. And we are going to be having monthly webinars throughout this season, and this semester, and I think you'll really be impressed with some of the people who have agreed to speak. But January 22nd will be the first webinar, and we ask that you attend all of those. They are scheduled for Fridays, so it's the third Friday of every month from noon to 1 o'clock. The only exception is January. That's actually the fourth Friday, because January is kind of a funny month. But anyway, that will be our very first one. And in fact, we have speakers for that, but we can get into that later. And we will be sharing this with you over email as well. And then you're culminating at the end of January when you complete your 4-week course is you'll have your Open for Anti-Racism or OFAR action plan. You will have submitted that and it will be approved by the course facilitators. And we'll also be getting some peer review on that from our advisory coaches. And this is the plan that you're going to take forward into your classes this spring semester. We also will be creating peer groups for the time after the 4-week course. And the peer groups will be meeting periodically to get peer support essentially around the work that they're doing and to continue this conversation after that 4-week intensive in January. And James, do you want to speak about the February through June?
Yeah, so after you complete the course and they're introduced to a lot of new information, or perhaps refreshed on some old information, and create that action plan, we don't want to just set you loose and say goodbye and assume that you're going to do the work, or assume that you can do the work by yourselves. We want to create this cohort and create this community practice and support you along the way. So as Una mentioned, we'll have monthly webinars that will help with guest speakers that will help you to help all of us to expand our awareness and understanding of sort of the ecosystem of anti-racist work that's going on sort of out there. We're aiming to introduce you to some ideas, or introduce ourselves to some ideas and organizations that might not otherwise come across our radars in California community colleges. And as Una mentioned, we ask you to meet with peer groups, to share ideas and sort of share how things are going. Throughout the spring, as you'll see in the next bullet points here, we will ask you to help us document impact in collaboration with the RP group. We'll ask you to administer a survey to your students. We'll ask you to complete a post-program survey. We'll ask you to participate in one research interview with the RP group, and we should note that up to 10 of you will be invited to participate in that interview, not every single individual. So we'll talk more about that when the time is right. And then we also ask you to document your experience as well for us in writing, so that we can share with others how things went, and so that we can learn how to make the program better next time. Also, and there's one bullet that we should add here, and that is that we also ask you to share your experience on your campus, maybe at a department meeting, maybe in a professional development workshop, whatever's appropriate to your discipline and your campus. But we want to make sure that we're prompting you to share out, so that you don't just keep the information for yourself. And then one other thing to add here in terms of support that is noted in writing on a later slide, but I'll mention it now. And that is, at College of the Canyons, we manage Joy and I manage a small but mighty OER team, and that team will be available to you to assist with searching for OER, formatting documents, reviewing things for accessibility, if that's necessary. You don't need to run things past our team, but if you would find that helpful, our team will be available to help with that aspect. And with that, I think we'll move on to the next slide.
Great. And thank you, James, for mentioning that bullet that we missed about you sharing this on your campus or within your department as appropriate. And many of you mentioned this in your application, that that was your goal. And so we're really want to encourage that, so that, you know, we can really maximize the impact. And next up, I want to turn it over to Joy and Kim to talk about the course, the Canvas course overview.
All right. Is this for us, Una, or was this going to be you talking about this piece?
Well, actually,
Sorry.
I'll talk.
James put this in, but I think
Yeah, I'll talk through this before we kick
Yeah.
it to Joy and Kim. This is sort of the administrative stuff. They're going to talk about the fun stuff, the learning stuff. So just some administrative stuff. The course will be taught in Canvas, but not your college's Canvas instance, and not the @ONE Canvas instance if you've taken courses through @ONE. Instead, it's the Canvas free for teachers version. You'll get an email invitation in your inbox. You'll receive an invitation to join the course that will come to you probably around the end of December, so it's close to the top of your inbox. It's important that you notice that you know which email you give to us, or you have given to us, because that's the email the invitation will come to. That's the email that will be associated with your invitation to Canvas. So if you decide to change the email that you're using for this project, just let us know quickly so that we can make a note of that. And again, just a reminder, when you log in, you're going to log in at the URL that you see here, not at your college's version of Canvas. And a reminder, as Una mentioned, once you log into the course, your first step is going to be to follow a link to go out of the course again to take a survey that's going to help us document the impact. And the final question on that survey is going to give you a top secret code like 123 or ABC. And then when you go back into the course, you enter that code, and then you can proceed on your merry way through the course. And now we go to Kim and Joy to talk about the fun stuff that's going to happen in the course.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, Joy and I, don't want to give away too much ahead of time, and yet we want to get you excited about the course. And one of the things I'd like to say for this part is we are learning with you. I want you to know that we are being vulnerable and we are humbling ourselves before you, and we are learning with you. So some of this stuff is very new to us as well. So with that said, I'm going to talk about Module 0 a bit. That's the introductions module, and we do provide you with some Canvas student experience stuff. I want to thank Aloha Sargent. I feel like I know you personally, although we've never met personally, because I've drawn on, or Joy and I've drawn on some of your work, and we've noted that and given you attribution in the course. So thanks for that. So there's Canvas for students and all kinds of guides in there for you. But a couple of things in the introductions model. What we're going to try to do is create a virtual community of practice. I mean, first of all, we're a cohort among ourselves. And then as James and Una are talking about, we want you to share out at your colleges and beyond perhaps. And even though we'll be here to support you for this semester, it's nice to have another, a more, I heard one of the participants, I think, talk about feeling like a lone wolf sometimes at the end there. So what we're trying to do, we've got several opportunities for you to sort of join or participate in communities of practice virtually. That's through listservs, through Twitter. Neither Joy nor I are big Twitter users, but we're going to encourage participants optionally. It's not a requirement to participate in Twitter, and use hashtag to try to put the conversation out there in the Twitter sphere. And the other thing we're going to use is Digo. And I know Dr. Alyssa Cooper is here today. She has a Digo because I used a lot of her resources from her list that she shares publicly in the course. And so we're going to try to encourage you all to use that. So with that said, Una said a pre-reading list. We do have a pre-reading list. It's on this slide, and we're sneaking in a few resources from each module for you to get started. And from module 0, the community agreements there is from the, and Nuna, I can share my screen, right? So I could just show you a quick.
Sure. Let me take, yeah.
Are you seeing that? From the National Equity Project, and this is talks about developing community agreements. And Joy and I have started a document, but we're going to ask all the participants, and so we're going to make sure that up front we understand, what our goals are, and how some of what we're going to talk about might be uncomfortable because it's so personal in some ways, like you're teaching and learning, and then the issue of racism and anti-racism on top of that. So we want to be really clear up front that we want to have a clear method of communicating with each other so we can be real and we can really be critical and we can move each other forward in a constructive and positive way. So we're going to ask you to look at that ahead of time, if you like, to get an understanding about community agreements if you don't have experience with that. And then also we're going to ask you, and again, it's optional, but if you join DIGO, we're going to encourage you to sign up for DIGO, and then you can join our group. And this is the Open for Anti-Racism group. And this is actually new to me. I haven't been in DIGO for years, and so I'm just coming back, and this page might look a little disorganized, but we do have a discussion here called pre-course reading. These other 3 articles, these are 2 websites and 2 articles, but we're going to put a few other resources here on this pre-course reading, but we encourage you to play around in DIGO, get yourself set up in that so that maybe we can use that as a way to communicate and share resources outside of the course. So let me stop that share. So that's module 0. Like, we're going to get to know each other, get to know the layout of the course, and make sure we're ready to communicate in a positive way with each other. Joy?
Sure. So moving on to the next module, the focus of module 1 is what is anti-racism? A big question to ask. And again, so grateful that we have Dr. Cooper with us. It is also humbling because we called so much on her great work. But we'll explore, we'll go through defining anti-racism, kind of addressing, what it means to say you're not racist versus being anti-racist. So really lay the foundation and the groundwork for what it means to be anti-racist, and then dive into, okay, how do we apply that as educators? So exploring anti-racist pedagogy, also exploring culturally responsive pedagogy, and working together as a group, small groups, and then larger group, to really just dive deep, without giving too much away. A big part of this whole process is our personal reflection. So it's the acknowledgement, the reflection, and then commitment to action. So we also, again, as Kim had mentioned, in terms of our community agreements, that's where, we get to work in a collaborative, supportive group together, as we work through kind of determining what this means for us as individuals and thinking ahead about what this means for the action plans that you all will be developing. So the first module will really be a deep dive into anti-racism. And from there, we'll then move forward into discussing more of the open concepts. And again, with remembering though how we can be leveraging the concepts of open to make our courses more anti-racist. So Kim, you want to go on to module 2?
Yeah, I was just chatting there. I do want to say that these are all hot linked here in these slides, and we will be sharing, I think Una's sharing the slides out after, and but also I'll be happy to put the DIGO group in the link in there once we're done with this talking part. I can't do too many things at once. So in module 2, what we try to do is then look at open educational resources. And I'm glad to hear so many of you are so experienced. And even if you are not, please do not feel excluded. I heard a lot of people mention their work with OER. But what we've done is try to provide just the basics for finding, creating, adopting, adapting, and also openly licensing that and taking some of the stigma and demystifying what that means to openly license something. So that's what we're going to do in Module 2. As Joy referenced, we've tried to really be balanced in the course in that we provide opportunities for 3 or 4 of you to work together in a small group in most modules, and then to take something you did in the small group and apply it to a larger conversation with the whole cohort later. And we've also set it up so that each time you work with different people in your small group. And that way, that gives everyone a chance to really get to work in a more intimate way with everybody in the course at some point, we hope. And then to be able to make those whole group conversations where we're either sharing or discussing maybe a little deeper than they might usually be, since we had some pre-work with our small group. So a little sneak peek for one of the resources from Module 2, because as James was saying, if we're just recreating freely accessible resources that have the same, institutional racist structures. So that's some of what we're looking at in Module 2. Who writes OER? And there's some real good stuff in there. And this is an NPR interview with James Sloan, who wrote The Lies My Teacher Told Me, I think is the name of it. And so that's a little sneak peek from Module 2.
Perfect. And then moving on to Module 3, we'll explore what is open pedagogy and how can it support anti-racism. So again, as Kim had mentioned, it's really great to hear that a lot of you have experience with OER, and whether you do or not, that is perfectly fine, because another important component is defining and understanding what open pedagogy is. We'll be going into more detail about what your action plan will be and what that process of developing your action plan will look like. But there are many ways in which to apply open to your classroom and also to apply anti-racism to your classroom. So this module will be about addressing more than just kind of building upon OER and addressing other examples of open pedagogy. So just defining that first. And then providing examples. So, again, as you all are working to develop and kind of define what it is that you want to do in your classes, you can be considering other ways to make your course open. For some of you, that will not mean, an open textbook, and that's okay, because there are still many other ways to apply open to your classroom. So, certainly don't want anyone to feel discouraged by that at all, because there's still so many more ways that we can make our courses more open. And again, not forgetting to leverage, open to make our courses also more anti-racist.
Yeah, and really the culminating event, or the thing that we're working towards, the reason we're educating ourselves, is so that we can apply this immediately and take action right now. And I do want you to know that so many of the different activities, and again, it's a pretty manageable 4 whole group discussions, 4 small group activities, and 4 reflections. We do ask you to, so you have an opportunity to work with a small group, a large group, and then to personally reflect for each module. And we're fluid with some deadlines. Obviously, with participation in a discussion, there has to be some time that we have to get that done so that we can sort of model a real-time conversation as best as we can. But as far as if you're worried about the work, a lot of the activities are intended to be like a stepping stone toward the final project. We're always keeping that final project in the back of our minds as we're doing the activities in each of the modules. And did we have the template, and were we talking about that, or was James for Module 4?
I think you were. Yeah.
Okay, great. Because one of the things that Joy and I also had talked about, that last week when you have the action plan to do, any other activities in the course, are you just working on that with each other so that you can get that in? We're really thinking about you as working professionals as well as, participants in this workshop. And the other thing we try to do in this course is model some of those approaches, those open approaches, for example, telling you right up that we are, we're facilitators and we're learning along with you. we're breaking down that traditional power structure where the facilitators or the instructors are the font of all knowledge, and that's not it. We're learning together. And as a matter of fact, when we say, hey, can you join the group and start putting resources in Digo, we're demonstrating right up front that we respect everyone like that, and we want to sort of all work together to break down those power structures and be co-learners in this course together. So with that said, we also welcome the opportunity for you to turn in work in any format that is comfortable for you. If you'd rather do a narrated PowerPoint, you can do that instead for your self-reflection. You know, we give you options like that. And it's the same with the action plan. We've tried to provide structure so that we definitely, know what we're looking for, and we have concrete. But at the same time, we want to leave it open-ended enough to allow for the wide array of expertise and creativity that we see gathered here, and then different people's styles and preferences for learning and presenting. So that's the thing. This is the culminating project, is to create a more anti-racist curriculum or course content or learning experience for your student, or a combination thereof. Joy, I don't want to take over. Did you want to talk a little bit about the action plan template, or?
Well, I'm happy to. You were doing great, Kim. So.
Well, I don't want to hog it,
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I mean, really, Kim summarized it. We want to be clear with, the outcomes that we're looking for, but also give you the flexibility to develop those plans as you see fit. If anything, I think the thing that will be really great and that Kim and I are looking forward to is just seeing what your action plans will be and what they'll look like, because they will likely be different for all of you. But, I'm not going to read the whole slide to you, but just very quickly, even as you're heading into the course, be thinking about what your short-term goals are. So again, what can be implemented this spring? Like, what is something that, as a result of moving through the course and the learning that we've done together, what can you implement immediately? And with that, of course, going through and kind of defining what that timeline will look like, but not losing sight of some long-term goals as well. Because, as we all know, the work doesn't just stop as soon as we complete the course, or even as soon as we conclude, this work together as a cohort. So, you might have some goals that in your mind are kind of might take longer to develop, or might require more resources, or to bring more of your colleagues involved in the process. And that's wonderful. We want to know that too, because that's really actually encouraging in terms of ensuring that the plans don't just kind of live and die here and now, but that they will continue to evolve and to live. So, even not necessarily over the holiday, but as we head into the course, just be thinking about, what you can implement here and now, but also what moves you, a semester from now or a year from now, or how do you see yourself incorporating others, bringing others into this process, on your campus, or maybe by discipline. So that's really kind of how we've structured the template. Kim, I'll pass it back to you in case there's anything else you want to add.
Thank you. I just did want to add one more quick thing, even though I see Una hovering over the arrow to move forward. Grading. I know people worry about grading, and I wish they wouldn't. But here's our deal in this course. Everything is worth 5 points. In the action plan, for example, the only thing that we will look for to make sure is there are these bulleted items. As long as these bulleted items are there, and that you've done your due diligence and you've really developed, great, you've got your full credit. Everything is worth 5 points. If you turn something in and we feel like maybe you need to expand a little bit or develop something a little more, we will provide detailed feedback, give you a 3, and ask you to please review the feedback, revise it, and resubmit it to get the 5. Our goal, everybody is going to move through this course. We need to do grades, for the stuff that we need to do for accountability. But that's how we plan to. So James was like, the action plan is the same amount as everything. Well, yes, because it's really not about the points. It's really about the learning and the moving forward with these ideas.
Yeah.
So thanks.
Thank you, Kim. And and Joy for explaining that. And I do want to say that our advisory coaches will also be helping you with those plans. They'll be reviewing those with you so that you'll get additional feedback beyond the course, so lots of different opportunities for that. Yes, and we are going to have to skip over this right now, I'm afraid, because we're getting a little short on time. I want to turn this over to Liz Yada, who many of you have been working with on your contract work. And Liz, would you like to talk about the monthly webinars?
Sure. So I just put the registration link in the chat window. Like Una mentioned at the top of the meeting, they're going to be Fridays at noon Pacific time. And we're busy working on getting speakers. I think that's all we really need to say about webinars right now.
Yeah, and we'll be sharing all of this information over email with you. So including the slides. So Liz is creating a Google group with all your emails. And if you would prefer to have an email used besides your institutional email, or in addition to your institutional email, you can contact Liz to get that added to the Google group. And so we'll send out the information about DIGO too, if you want a little extra help about how to set that up. So this will be for project related communications. Liz is going to do the contracts and invoicing. I think many of you have been working with her. Thank you for that. We will ask that you get that in as soon as possible, and it will be necessary before you start the course. And James, do you want to talk about the support one more time from College of the Canyons?
Yeah, just a reminder, everybody, if you find yourself in the January course thinking, man, I really wish I could do this, create this OER, but I'm not sure how to do the licensing, or I don't really know how to search for OER, feel free to reach out to oer@canyons.edu. Please copy me on that email as well, just to make sure that we're prioritizing that appropriately. But we do have some support available through College of the Canyons, and we're really happy to be able to do that.
Great. Thank you, James. So as you know, your main points of contact are James and I, but for individual pieces, of course, Liz will be working with you very closely, and then of course, Kim and Joy throughout the course. These are just a few links for you if you are looking for additional resources around open. CCCOER has a website. In fact, we brought up a brand new one today. But there's lots of great tutorials, licensing, webinar recordings there on different OER topics if you're interested, and also on what we call equity topics. I don't know how many of you are working with the Academic Senate on their OERI project, but they have been working for the last, I think it's 2 years now, on developing OER textbooks and ancillaries. And I know many of our faculty are. So they also have a website. I hope I got that correct. Actually, it looks like there may be an error in that. Fix that in the URL there, but they also are developing a lot of great materials as well. So another great resource. And if you're interested in joining a national conversation around OER focused on community colleges, because CCCOER is a national group. We do have members in 35 states. You can join our email list, completely optional, but a place to find out more about OER and to get some peer support. I think at this point, we will probably move to, to questions. Did any questions come up in the chat window? Or you can unmic yourself at this point, or unmute yourself, I should say, and speak up.
I did put the link for the DIGO group, the OFAR group in there. If people are already in DIGO, they can request to join the group. And also put a link for DIGO help if DIGO is new to you, and that's a page that gives you a lot of help. Other than that, Mike, thank you very much, gave us the digo.com general URL. Thanks.
Great, Kim. And so we'll ask you to help us put that email together. That'll go out to the group. And of course, you'll be a member of that group as well. so that if people have additional questions about DIGO, they could contact you. Does that make sense?
So everything was crystal clear, no questions. We've over communicated perhaps.
Yeah, it's possible.
I do have a question, and it's more, is there a way to make the content for our Canvas earlier than December, like end of those of us who may want to get a jump start, or are you still, creating it? Which I understand, trust me.
That's completely, I think that's a question for Kim and Joy, with a realistic answer though.
Well, best practice in online teaching and learning suggests that you open your courses a bit early for your participants who might like to look ahead. Joy and I will talk about, we have talked about this, haven't we, Joy? We're willing to open it early for sure. I don't know about the date though.
Yeah, so that's something we can be in communication with you over email. So make sure we have the email that you're going to be paying attention to over the semester break. So if that's not your institutional email, make sure you give us another one that we can use. Because in addition to Joy and Kim being ready, we also have to have our finalized survey from the RP group. And they've been working on that with us for quite a while, but we don't actually have the finalized one yet. So that has to get put in place as well. But when all those pieces are in place and Joy and Kim are ready, I think we can send something out on the email list and let those who want to get started early do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so again, the next step is for everyone to watch their emails. First of all, you probably have already received an email from Liz, so return the contract or the agreement, and then you'll receive an invitation to join an email list, or you'll receive a notification that you've been added to an email list.
That's
so just
correct.
Watch for that, and then watch for an invitation to join the course. Oh, and an email that has the links with the pre-reading or the reading list that Joy and Kim shared.
Absolutely. We'll be able to send all of that out to you, including the slides and the recording from today. So I want to thank everyone for joining us, and thank you for taking this challenge to make your teaching more anti-racist. And I wonder if there's any final comments or before we say happy holidays.
Just a really quick question. Out of curiosity, is this the first cohort like this? This is a very big undertaking, and I'm excited about it. I'm wondering if we're an inaugural group for you.
Yes, absolutely. This is without a doubt is the first time that we've done this, and to my knowledge, and I'm looking at the project team here. We're pretty darn plugged into the open education world, and I have not come across anything like this in the open education world. I know there's great interest once we started sharing this. There are a lot of people have asked to learn more about it, but as far as I know, this is the first of its kind.
Great. And who asked that question?
That was me, Robert.
Oh, thank you, Robert. Yes, that's a great question. You are the inaugural cohort, and we're thinking about kind of a name for that cohort, and so we'll touch base with you around whether you are OFAR fellows or when you graduate from it. And we hope that this is the first of many cohorts, and we would hope that our inaugural members would come back and provide some peer support to those who enter later.
Most definitely, yeah.
Thank you.
This is Oliver. Can I just ask a really quick question?
Yes.
So I feel comfortable with the idea of anti-racist curriculum, but as someone who doesn't have extensive experience with OER, I presume in the readings of the modules there might be some reading or examples that would help me wrap my head around that. I mean, I emailed my deans just a moment ago and said, hey, who on our campus is an OER expert?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Oliver. And besides the resources provided in the course, Joy and I are facilitating the course. And, you know, there are various vehicles for communication in the course, like the help form and things like that. And it's our area of expertise. So I am sure that we can all work together to help you. So try not to worry about it.
And Oliver, you're at Bakersfield?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, I know that you guys have been doing some OER work at your college.
Oh gosh, yeah, I was out there. I was out there a couple of times last year.
Oh, great. Well, I emailed our technology dean, so I'm hoping he gets excited about it. So thank you.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I just want to say, Oliver, that Joy is a rock star OER. I don't know Kim, but I do know Joy, and I know James, and so you'll be heavily supported. So
thank you.
I'm excited to hear about the work that you're doing, because I just was so excited to hear all the different things that everyone's doing and how we can all collaborate. It's really an exciting opportunity.
Thank you, Cindy. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. This is pretty amazing. We're so thrilled and just honored and humbled to be here with you. And yeah, we'll be seeing you in the course and following the lead of Kim and Joy in the course.
And I wanted to mention that Dr. Alyssa Cooper will be speaking at our January 22nd webinar. So keep that in mind, but we'll keep you informed about these events over email. So thanks, everyone, and have a lovely holiday.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everybody.